Hello everyone, this is our weekly video series for shop classes. I hope everyone's having a good spring out there as well as can be expected with what's going on. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about assignment turn-in and what attendance looks like in our classes out here. Make sure that you're getting your assessments turned in at the end of every lesson. That first assessment from last week will be due this Friday. If you don't turn that in to me, you don't get a grade for the week, or do you get credit for attendance? So make sure you get those turned in. The work that I'm handing out for next week will be due on the 1st of May. So make sure you get that work turned in to me to get credit for attendance and participation for that week as well. For this week, small gas engines, we're going to talk a little bit about cylinder, crankshaft, and piston service. That's something we covered in our hands-on learning earlier in the year, as you got to disassemble a couple of engines. This is the follow-up to that. It's going to give you a little bit more in-detail knowledge as we go through this. The learning objectives for this lesson are to describe how to inspect a cylinder for damage and measure the cylinder for wear, taper, and out of roundness, to explain the difference between boring and honing, and identify when each process should be used, to summarize the steps inspecting a crankshaft for damage and measuring it for wear, describe the main steps in main bearing service, and summarize steps involved in piston, rod, and ring service. Remember, the assessment for this unit will be due next Friday, May 1st. For welding classes, metal art, welding, and metal fabrication, we're covering oxyacetylene welding in flat position. Okay, the objectives for this lesson for the week: describe the proper technique for carrying a weld pool, explain the procedure for adding filler metal, identify common mistakes made when welding butt joints, identify considerations for cast iron, identify considerations for welding aluminum, identify considerations for welding steel, and compare the difference between forehand and backhand welding. Your assessment for this chapter is due next Friday, May 1st. Make sure you get those turned in so you can get credit for the class. Ag construction. This week we're going to talk a little bit about exterior doors and windows. The objectives for this lesson are to discuss standards for window and door fabrication, identify the various types of windows, explain how energy efficient windows affect heat resistance, interpret a window schedule, explain how window frames are adjusted for wall thickness, summarize procedures for installing a standard window, describe procedures for installing a replacement window, describe the procedure for installing a bow or box bay window unit, how to calculate rough openings, how to prepare a rough opening for installation of a door frame, describe the procedure for sliding glass door installation, explain the correct construction of a garage door frame, and select the appropriate garage door hardware. For this unit, the assessment is due next Friday, May 1st. Make sure that's turned in to me so you can get credit for the class. Junior high woodshop. We're getting into the planning your project section, 3.2. Your objectives are to describe the concept of scale, read and use working drawings, name and describe 5 types of lines commonly used in working drawings, calculate board feet, square feet, and lineal feet, prepare a bill of materials for your project, make a stock cutting list for your project, and prepare a plan of procedure for constructing your project. Some of you have mentioned you're doing some work at home. That's great. I'd love to see pictures of that. Make sure you're being safe and you have supervision. Don't try some of these things on your own. They can be dangerous. Ask your parents for help if you need it. Okay. Your assignment is due next Friday, May 1st. Make sure you get that into me so you get credit for this union. Have a safe week out there, and we'll see you next time.